Are you feeling overwhelmed with open world games? Honestly, I have a love-hate relationship with them. For one thing, I was making a video about Genshin and how I felt very overburnt about it. And at the same time, I also made a video about open world games that I'm looking forward to. I'm honestly a mess, y'all. But open world games have been a strong platform in the video game industry. And as much as I still love video games of this nature, I'm not gonna lie, and I don't know about you, but I'm starting to feel a bit overburnt with open world games overall. Hi, I'm Jer, one half of the Ginger Gaming duo, and today I'm gonna be talking about why I'm feeling so overwhelmed with open world games. I want to bring up how open world games was a huge genre in my life, but I also want to bring up why I'm also feeling so burnt out from them. If you like videos like this, and if you like cozy games with Jen, do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button down below. We've actually reached YouTube partner, and we just want to say thank you all so much for watching all our videos. We really appreciate all the love and support, and thank you so much for continuing on this journey with us. And with that being said, let's get right into it. Open world games have been out since pretty much when I was born, and probably even earlier than that. And as a gamer and a fan of open world games for quite some time now, I always ask myself this question: why do I like playing open world games? There's just something about climbing or walking up the top of a tower or cliff and just seeing this massive and beautiful area you can explore. And I don't know what it is, but I feel like compared to linear games, I felt like I was able to do what I wanted to do, which is something very relative to my life because I never liked walking one straight path for the most part. There was something beautiful about coming back home from work after a long day and chilling with my Switch or PC and immersing myself into a world of the unknown, not knowing what quests I will endure as the paths were never the same. And don't get me wrong, I love linear games as well because it doesn't require too much brain power for the most part. But lately, I just feel like open world games have been more so of a chore for me, or maybe life has just been going 100 miles an hour. And I think that with life going so fast, with work, wanting to be a homeowner, figuring out my future, what I'm passionate about, games have started to become less of a priority for me. And sure, I want to add video games in my lifestyle because it's still a big part of my life. And as I've played games like Genshin, Breath of the Wild, or Elden Ring, I can help but think that how am I going to finish all these games? Especially with a gacha game like Genshin where there's no technically any end game. There was never really an MMO type of style, and usually I liked playing games by myself. I didn't get into open world games until I laid my hands on Final Fantasy VII with my cousin. I bought this game without any media persuasion because I was truly sold with the front cover of Cloud. The game truly defined my love for open world games, and I started getting into Final Fantasy VIII, then 9, then 10. Then games around the time frame included Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross, Secrets of Mana, and basically a huge Square Enix fan overall. I started moving over from JRPGs, then started getting into games like Fallout, Elder Scrolls, Assassin's Creed, Ghost of Tsushima, and my love and hate relationship with Dark Souls. And as much as I love the environment, the music, the stories, the real thing that brings me is the immersion and the freedom to do what I want. I wasn't focused on repeated rounds like Halo, or I wasn't focused on my kill to death ratio with Call of Duty. I was just really at peace. These were truly the games that I can say are relaxing and are still in a way very relaxing to me as of to date. There are a couple games I really wanted to point out that made open world games amazing instead of this grind factor mentality. The first one I think everyone can really point out, and I've heard about this game, is Skyrim. It was the first game that I felt truly immersed inside. The moment you start it, you are literally put into a cart with bandits and dragons start breathing down your neck. Just even something as simple as a plate or utensil, just being able to pick it up with your hands from the very first moments of the game was something special. And when you step out of that dungeon and escape the chaos, you feel like you can really do anything. There is a reason why this game has been so successful as of to date, because this game really defines what a good story should do and what being immersed truly feels like. The NPCs felt very real, the progression did not feel rushed whatsoever, and I felt like every time I got that new armor or sword, it was well worth my time. Another one is, you guessed it, Breath of the Wild. I really can't bring up Tears of the Kingdom right now because I'm totally immersed in this game, but I can tell you that Breath of the Wild was one of those games where I could totally sit down on my bed or desk and immerse myself for hours. There's something about limited words and short conversations that really lets me settle my introverted brain to set flight over the world of Hyrule. And this was a completely different set than Skyrim. As opposed to Chaos, you run up onto a hill and see the world itself. This is the defining moment I knew that this game was something special, and Breath of the Wild truly was a game of immersion, as how I had to strategically attack enemies, or even simply collecting foods and making them into random meals. There was just something that made me so interactive with the environment that I felt like I was actually there. The game was truly special in its own way, and as much as I appreciate a good story, sometimes I just want to vibe and figure things out for myself without any help. And Breath of the Wild was truly that game that made me feel like loneliness was actually okay. I don't want to get too into it because I actually have a whole video about this, but this game truly brought me out of the open world genre. Of course, it's fun when you start and you explore new areas, but when you do the same routine things over and over again, it gets very tiring. And it's the very repetitive things, the farming for items and constant going from one place to another, that was making me feel like Genshin was really a chore. I was starting to pass through stories quickly, and I left only caring for rewards. And as I've attempted to play other games like Tower of Fantasy and soon to be other gacha games like Wuthering Waves or Blue Protocol, and as a fan of JRPGs, I just don't know how the state of these games will be later on. I can see the quality will be lessened and repetitive because people seek rewards quicker than they do with their time. I'm all about free-to-play models as well too, but it takes up so much time, and that's what kills me to see that people are not appreciating things and are not constantly seeking rewards, and I'm guilty of this myself. And now, if anything, I'm starting to play Honkai Star Rail and liking it more because it saves me so much time. This turn-based RPG has allowed me to be more efficient in playing, putting my characters on autoplay. Like, I don't have to explore a whole world or map just to generally farm in one area, and the rewards are worth the time well spent. There's nothing wrong with linear games, but open world games have just taken up so much time. And as I mentioned before, I don't want things to feel like a chore. And that's how I feel like what the future of the open world game series will be. DLCs are needed for extra content. This free-to-play open world method is defined more and more on incentives and are getting grander and quicker because that is really what people want. And this is really unfortunate because I'm sure developers are constantly trying to find ways to make things quicker and faster, which jeopardizes the quality of the game. But deadlines are constantly being pushed back, and even so, most games still contain bugs and constant lagging. And to bring up quality over quantity, even things like side quests don't feel as relevant anymore because I don't feel connected to the NPCs, or it just doesn't relate to the story. It just feels like a filler episode in an anime. A game like Genshin doesn't give me any investment with non-character NPCs, and I feel like most of the time I'm talking to a robot instead of a strong personality and plays a part to me personally. I want to feel immersed, and I don't want to feel like I'm doing something that I would need to do for my job. It shouldn't have to be a checklist or even part of my itinerary. It's an open world, so in a sense, I should be able to do what I want to do. Nowadays, there's a path for things for us and literally a wiki for everything. There's no sense of exploration because there are guides in our fingertips without having to surprise us, and just finish the game like we do with our list of daily things to do in our lives. And I get it, life is really busy. Jen and I are really busy as well, but I do love taking time to play those games, and when I do play them, I want to take my time because video games are my outlet. I hope that games don't rush and really do their best to produce what they can. I know the competition is high, the deadlines are rough, but I think as a fan of open world games, we really need to be a part of the game. I bring this up in a lot of my videos, but as things get faster in an ever-changing world, I hope we get a chance to slow down just as I see the open world games becoming creative, immersive, and having high imagination value because it's what keeps our world alive. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button down below. And if you like other videos as well, here's one of Jen talking about pixel art games, and I have another one talking about being a broke gamer. My name is Jer, and I hope you have a great rest of your day or night. Bye-bye, y'all.